Hey, YouTubers, it's me, it's the Steamy Bean coming at you from the north. Yeah, it's quite the adventure in the north. Um, what happened yesterday was that we were told that work was going to end at 2 o'clock because they'll be working on the water. And then at 2 o'clock, not only did the we were let out, but the power conked out, so no electricity. And the whole evening, a crew was sent in from a town nearby town about 2 hour drive away, two and a bit, to come to our village to check out where the problem was. And they tried everywhere, and they couldn't find the source. Then they went home for the evening. Then they returned this morning. And what happened is that they found the source of the power. It was it was a power line, or a tower, not a tower, but it was a power line situated near a lake, pretty far away, and it had fallen into the lake. I'm not sure if it was because of the fires, or maybe it was just an old wooden post. So anyways, they fixed that problem today, and it was 26 hours of no electricity, no water. Now, work was canceled today. I'm in here at work right now, but it was canceled, and I'm thinking I am groomed well for living up here, because a couple of years ago I used to live in Africa, and I lived in an African country where the power would be out for days. So days you get no power at night, nothing going on, and it was for many people it was depressing. Myself, it was time for me to get into reading, so I had a electronic reader, and what I do is I buy electronic reader, the one that lights up. So meanwhile, when everyone would be at home in the early evening with nothing, maybe a couple candles, I would be on my couch reading away. I remember my years in Africa. That's when I did I read a lot of books those years, and it was reading some classics and some. I would get the books that had been nominated by the Booker Prize, or some Canadian prize books that were long listed and shortlisted, and I'd grab them, and I would just read away, and it was, you take the best from a wacky situation, and so life is good. My neighbor borrowed my fishing rod, went down to the river, and snagged 9 walleye fish. So he gave me a good eating sized walleye fish, and I took it and I chopped it up, threw it in a pot with water, put some chicken stock in it, filled it with about 5 different types of veggies, put some chopped tomatoes in it, some herbs, garlic, onions, and I made a nice fish stew, and it is delish. Yeah, I got into the which is getting me away from eating Spam. I won a bunch of Spam at bingo. Bingo is big in the north, so I won 3 bingos the other night, which is kind of unusual. The first bingo, actually, I didn't win. I did call bingo, but it wasn't the last number that was called, so I didn't win that one. But I won a second time and a third time, so won a lot of stuff, a lot of merchandise. So that was pretty cool. And I'm gonna start, and I just discovered that a neighbor of mine, not too far from where I live, is a fisherman, and he's really good at filleting the fish and getting it prepared. He puts it in and wraps it. So I have a source of some healthy eating coming my way. The Spam that I bought, I won like 20 cans of spam. Like, and I don't think I just had 2 cans this week of spam, and I'm thinking, you know what, I ain't gonna work through this. I might just donate to someone who needs it or someone who likes spam, because that ain't healthy eating. And looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Terry Fox. We're having a Terry Fox run. A lot of places throughout Canada, a lot of communities are celebrating the Terry Fox run. Terry Fox, who really motivated a lot of Canadians, who gave us, who dreamed big. And Terry Fox, if you don't know him, Google him. He was a fellow who was an amputee leg because of cancer, and he was a young fella in his early 20s, and his goal was to run across Canada to raise awareness for cancer. And by goodness, he just made it through the halfway point, and he couldn't run anymore because the cancer had returned. Really sad story, but a lot of Canadians continued the walk and run in his honor and raised a lot more money than he ever dreamed of. So the dream continues. And thank you, Terry, for inspiring so many people. And there's, a lot of, he left us in 1981. And since then, there's millions of Canadians who weren't alive when he was around, but they continue with his Marathon of Hope. Please Google Marathon of Hope or go to YouTube, look at Marathon of Hope and Terry Fox. So that's all I have to say, and vlog à fini.